Hey guys, what's up? Welcome back here to today's episode of Intuitive Angling. And man, I really appreciate you guys checking out today's video and spending some time with me. Going to give you my practice report from Kentucky Lake. We have our second Toyota Series tournament of the year beginning tomorrow morning here on Kentucky Lake. Going to give you guys a sort of a rundown of everything and what my plan is for the tournament tomorrow. Also, guys, before we get started, just two quick things I wanted to remind you about. I'd just like to invite everybody to please consider hitting that subscribe button here at Intuitive Angling. Man, we've had some really good channel growth the last couple months. I really appreciate that. And if you guys are interested in supporting the channel, it's free and easy. Just hit that subscribe button and the notification button, and you'll never miss a video. And also, guys, Tackle Warehouse has got some really good sales going on right now on rod and reels, as well as some of their baits. So if you guys are interested in checking that out, I'll have my Tackle Warehouse link in the description of this video. If you guys would like to use that link, much appreciated there. Okay, some of you guys may have heard me talking about this a couple days ago, but my practice at Kentucky Lake is non-existent because I didn't get a practice, and I want to explain that a little bit today and to give you guys sort of my plan for the tournament tomorrow morning. Now, you guys may have heard me talking about this, but I'm going to go into a little bit more detail. When I did my schedule in this past January, you know, I got this big calendar I write all my tournaments out on, and for some reason MLF they changed the date of the actual tournament to Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday for this tournament. Now, all of our other tournaments are always Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. So when I saw the dates, I got something mixed up in my mind, and I put the practice dates down as the tournament dates. So, you know, I didn't think anything about it. And then my wife Kim had scheduled, she's for the last 10 years, her and her girlfriends, they go on an annual trip together. So they book this trip, and the plan was going to be that she was going to be, you know, back today, and then I'd leave for Kentucky Lake and go practice. You know, I'd get a day and a half of practice there, maybe 2 days of practice, and fish the tournament. But anyway, like 2 days ago, I got looking at my schedule, preparing for the tournament, and I just saw that they had changed the dates to the tournament starts tomorrow. So as it turned out, Kim's not going to be back in town until today. I've got the kids, so I can't leave until she gets back from the airport this afternoon. So I'm going to leave, pick her up at the airport, leave, and I'll drive to Kentucky today. I'll get down there probably 11 o'clock tonight, and then fish the tournament tomorrow morning with no practice whatsoever on it, which you know, it's just like, I can't believe I made that mistake in this tournament. But anyway, given that, I sort of wanted to give you guys a rundown of, you know, what my plan is, since I haven't had any practice whatsoever for the thing. Hadn't been there in a year. And on top of that, they've had, you know, rapidly changing conditions because the place has been getting flooded out down there. So anyway, what I've tried to do here is I've tried to monitor the weather and the lake conditions as much as I can. The lake's, you know, unusually muddy for Kentucky Lake. Coming up, how far it's going to come up, nobody really knows. So given that, and the fact that I don't have any practice for this tournament, I'm sort of going to tell you guys what my plan is for just going into a tournament cold. So for the past 2 days, I've had to prepare for everything in terms of my equipment, because tomorrow morning when I get down there, I got to go fish the tournament. I'm not going to have any time to think about things or analyze things. So I had to pack 2 different sets of gear. I got that Vexus 1980 stuff full of gear right now. So what I had to do is I had to set up one set of gear for like maybe normal type water clarity conditions and normal situations, which would be just the typical, you know, pre-spawn, spawn type of a thing. And then I had to set up another set of gear for flooded conditions, like muddy, flooded type of deal. And I won't know until I actually run to my first spot where I want to fish tomorrow what I need to pull out of that rod locker. I have no idea what the water clarity is going to be. I have no idea what the water level is going to be. I have no idea about anything. You just have to go fishing. So how I'm going to approach this tournament is like, I've got to put myself in what I consider high percentage areas. Now I know Kentucky Lake pretty good, and I fished tons of tournaments there before, so I know what the structure is and the key areas in terms of the pre-spawn areas and the spawn areas and all that thing. So here's what I'm thinking in my own, situation. There's two ways to approach this. Number one, if you choose to go for largemouth exclusively, or if I chose to go for largemouth exclusively tomorrow, with the dirty water and the water coming up and going into those typical areas, I don't feel like you have a chance to win the tournament. I mean, there's a lot of instability. Anytime the water comes up this quick, there's a lot of instability. And on top of that, smallmouth have been making a real big, growth, and there's big comeback on the lake here. And pretty much anymore on Kentucky Lake, most of the time you got to have a mixed bag to win of smallmouth and largemouth. So given that, I have got to put myself in a position where I feel I can catch both smallmouth and largemouth, unless I just want to go down there and try to get a check. And after, I did very poorly at Lake of the Ozarks at our first Toyota Series tournament of the year. So in this position here, that's not going to do me any good. I might as well just try to put myself around the biggest bag of fish that I can. So given that, I've got to put myself, what I feel, around the pre-spawn areas. Now the water temperature down there, from what I've heard, is upper 50s to around 60 degrees. It's cold this morning. It froze here in Missouri, so I'm sure it knocked a little bit back. We got a front that went through. So when you're thinking about that, I feel in my situation I'm going to target the pre-spawn bass, because it's been raining and cloudy for the last 4 or 5 days. All of a sudden right now, it's bluebird sky, post-frontal conditions. It's going to knock those fish back. I don't believe that those fish are going to be spawning when we get there, simply because of this cold front, and on the top, that the conditions are extremely unstable. The water's probably really muddy in a lot of those key spawning areas. It's probably coming up quick. I really feel that those fish are going to hold back on spawning until they have some more stability. So that is why I'm going to choose to fish, pre-spawn areas. Now, the type of pre-spawn areas that you fish on Kentucky Lake, there's a lot of different scenarios. You can fish bluffy, rocky banks. You could fish, the ledges, the bars, that type of thing, just rocky banks in general. But a lot of it, again, has to do with the water visibility. I know what the pre-spawn type areas are, but let's say, for example, I go up to a really good pre-spawn area, like maybe some type of a channel swing adjacent to a spawning bay, something like that. I know that's a good pre-spawn type area, but what if I get there and the water visibility's it's like chocolate milk? Then that area has been, you're not going to catch any fish there. So for me, that's the uncertainty in this tournament, is I don't really know what I'm going to do until I actually see the first spot that I'm going and see the water visibility. Is the water visibility going to be 2 inches? Is it going to be a foot? Anything in between, you just don't know. Now, I know about a half a dozen areas on Kentucky Lake from fishing there before where I really feel I could go right to those areas and catch fish. But I feel that if I did catch a limit off of those areas, they're going to weigh like, 12 or 13 pounds, something like that, which if you catch 12 or 13 pounds, for 2 days you might get a check, but it's like, what are you going to do? Just get your gas money paid for? You get a check and you barely pay for your gas money. If you're going to make any type of a windfall profit in these tournaments, you have got to put yourself around better fish. Now, sometimes that's the goal. It's like you always have this goal of trying to figure out some type of a big fish top 10 winning pattern. But in reality, sometimes you can't find it. It's just like you cannot figure it out. And sometimes you just need to go where you think you can catch some fish to try to scrape out a limit and get a check. That's all. Your expectations are relative to your practice a lot of times. So anyway, guys, I got no idea how it's going to go tomorrow. I really don't. I mean, I fished enough tournaments to know I've had before some practices where it was just unbelievable, and I just couldn't wait to get out there, and I just knew I was going to win the tournament. It's like, I know, it's like, I'm going to win this tournament. I don't know if I'm going to win it by 5 pounds or 10 pounds. And then I get out there the next morning of the tournament, I don't catch anything. And then I've had tournaments where I haven't caught anything in practice and won the tournament or almost won the tournament. So practice in terms of like people that have been down there the last 4 or 5 days, the only thing practice does, it either builds your confidence or it undermines your confidence. And in reality, you have got to figure the fish out the day that you're there. That's the whole key with it. And sometimes practice helps and sometimes it doesn't. So in this situation, I just have to really dig deep into the experience I have as an angler and what I know about Kentucky Lake, and just go fishing and and try to let it unfold. And I'm gonna have a lot of different rods out on the deck, to give myself a lot of different options. And it's really going to be critical tomorrow. It's really critical for me to go out there and try to and catch a few decent fish the first 2 or 3 hours that I'm out there, because that allows me to really build on it and run a pattern. But I got no clue. I mean, guys, I could literally not catch a bass tomorrow, or I could come in with 25 pounds or anything in between. So sort of an interesting deal there. But anyway, I got to pick him up at the airport this afternoon, so I'm getting ready to go into the gym and get a workout in while everybody else is practicing down there. But it's just a mistake on my part. I just didn't, like I said, I didn't think to look at the exact dates, because I always, in every tournament before, it's always Thursday, Friday, and Saturday instead of Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. So it was just an oversight on my part with this. So anyway, guys, I'll let you know how it goes tomorrow. I'll give you guys a breakdown on my first tournament day, and then hopefully I got some, something to report for you. But regardless, if I catch them or don't catch them, I'll be able to, relay some information that might help you down the road for yourself there. So anyway, guys, hope you're well. We'll talk later.